I really do think Johan Rojas is going to be sent down today. We don't know. That's probably going to break at 12 o'clock, right when we get out of here, of course. But the Phillies do have to do something. Rojas is okay. He certainly hasn't taken the job and ran with it. Pache, you'd have to have clear waivers. I don't know if that happens. And then Dahl and Clemens. Dahl has kind of earned his way onto this team a little bit. So we'll see what happens. They could send Dahl or Clemens back down again. I think you'd have to, possibly lose Dahl if you do that, though. I think Rojas is the guy that's going to go down today. But it's going to be great to have Trey back.
Yeah. You can feel the writing on the wall. Yoro about to go.
Yeah, Matt Gelb had a piece that said they've already internally discussed it.
Yeah.
He also did an interview with Dombrowski, and Dombrowski, didn't go too deep into it, but he kind of said, look, Rojas has been about what we expected.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're disappointed with him. I think Matt's phrasing was the path of least resistance, and that's kind of what this is like Johan makes the most sense in terms of you have a true center field platoon there with Marsh and then Pache giving them a day off here and there. And then we have to go Whit Merrifield and David Dahl in left field. And it's a little bit just easier than some other options. So we'll see. But it's going to be interesting.
It's tough, but it does make sense, unfortunately. There are some guys in Johan Rojas, Nick Castellanos, who's been working out of his slumping up and down, that have been the weak links on this roster right now. And when you have Trea Turner coming back, with how well we've been seeing Edmundo Sosa, with how well even David Dahl, Cody Clemens is supposed to be back this week is also, you have other guys that are giving you good at-bats, but also giving you good fielding. And Yoro has struggled at times. We talked about it after he hit the wall series back, that he was a little bit more timid at times and then kind of worked himself through that. You had the ability to send him down and not have to lose him. So if you can send him down, continue to see if you can work on his at-bats and delivery. I mean, his numbers on the season so far for Yoro, he's got just 2 home runs, 19 RBIs, a 235 average, and a 566 OPS. This past series, in the 2 games that he played against Baltimore, just 1 hit. That's all he gave you. He didn't give you anything. We've seen him at times make some good plays, but it's not consistent enough. And then you see someone like David Dahl.
It's been a little better recently.
It has been better, and that's where the tough part is of sending him down. But this is the reality.
Constant,
right?
So
right.
like when you see him struggling defensively or in the first part of this,
exactly.
It's like, oh man, all right, maybe this makes you reconsider some things.
Yeah,
go recalibrate down in Lehigh, get some bacon or whatever they do there. What is it? They have the Lehigh's the one with the bacon, right? That's not Reading. Yeah, so go get some bacon down in Lehigh. It's good Lancaster County.
It makes it tough because you have a David Dahl who gets the call up and has already hit 2 home runs since getting called up. It's been since June 3rd. And, of course, that June 3rd debut, he hit a home run. But he's already given you 3 RBIs, 2 home runs. He's had a couple of doubles, giving you good at-bats. Even this past weekend was But you have options. There's no need to force it. And I know I've always been on the Yoro train, and we all have had high hopes for him. But right now, this team is struggling. And they're struggling for a number of reasons. But one is, when you bring back Trea Turner, you're going to hopefully get that spark in the offense. And you got to see who you can move that's going to allow you to continue to get the best lineup out there. And Yoro right now, we've seen, as you mentioned, with Brandon Marsh back, with Christian Pache, who can give you enough here and there to platoon with Marsh. There's no need to force Yoro offensively if he's just not ready to be that everyday guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say it. I don't really want to see Johan Rojas in the starting lineup in the playoffs. I know some people like him, but I've seen nothing from him this year where I want to see him in a playoff series.
Yeah.
And that's what it boils down to, because the regular season is long. It's going to be a fun ride, a fun rest of the summer. But you're ultimately thinking about late September, early October as the ultimate.
Yeah.
And I don't really care to see Johan Rojas in the lineup. I know one of the commenters in the chat said, do you think Luis Robert is a real possibility? Again, in Dombrowski's interview with Matt Gelb from The Athletic, he said it's way, 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 way too early to tell. I think he used 5 ways. So if that tells you anything. He said there's 5 or 6 teams that are like guaranteed sellers right now. You're going to have to overpay if you go and get one of those teams. And he also made the point that if the team's selling the guy right now and pushing that guy on you, it's probably not a good sign. He said you'd rather be pursuing the guy than having teams call you.
Chase.
Yeah, he did say a couple teams called about veteran catchers, and he was like, well, it was kind of like, well, why are you trying to sell him to me? You just, so it's still very, very early. I did add it today to the countdown, 43 days till the MLB trade deadline.
Look at you using your countdown app again.
So we're 43 days away. So it's still too early, but I do think Luis Robert is going to be a realistic target.